A bear hug for Benjamin Netanyahu from his friend and ally Joe Biden. There was never any doubt that the US president would be the first foreign leader to throw his country's support behind Israel in the aftermath of the Hamas attack.
The United States stands with Israel. We will not ever fail to have their back. And my administration's support for Israel's security is rock solid and unwavering.
6 months on, that unwavering support has opened up fissures in American society, which could potentially even cost Biden the presidency.
The United States was the first country to officially recognize Israel back in 1948, and it's been its biggest supporter ever since. Whether it's a Democrat or a Republican in the White House, that support has remained resolute. But the war in Gaza is putting an unprecedented strain on what many people consider America's most important relationship.
As in other parts of the world, the protests in the US against Israel's Gaza operation have become increasingly strident. But there's a crucial difference. The protesters here know that the US is the only nation with the power to make Israel change course.
Israel would not be able to do this or to continue to do this without the U.S.'s support. The U.S. is 100% just as responsible for the genocide as Israel is.
Enough. It's like enough. And America has been supporting this. It's crazy.
However, for months now, an increasingly frustrated U.S. administration has tried but largely failed to persuade the Israelis to minimize civilian casualties or allow sufficient quantities of humanitarian aid into Gaza. And the US has appeared reluctant to use its leverage. The supply of weapons and ammunition to Israel has continued. But Monday's airstrike, which killed 7 World Central Kitchen aid workers, may prove a seminal moment. For the first time, the US is publicly warning Israel that it can no longer take its support for granted.
What we want to see are some real changes on the Israeli side. You know, if we don't see changes from their side, there'll have to be changes from our side.
It's the first time that we see actual strain in that relationship, and it could go still much further. And given the circumstances on the ground, it ought to go much further.
The US and Israel will undoubtedly remain close allies. But 6 long months of war have clearly changed the dynamic of the relationship, at least for now. John Brain, TRT World, Washington.